have been having such a crazy start to the year. Like, I don't know about you, but since 2026 has started, things has just been a bit mad. You know, when you get inspired by something and you just get this huge sense of like inspiration, impulsiveness, this energy in your body. When sometimes things don't go according to plan, I realized that it does give an opportunity to adapt and also maybe think creatively, think a little bit outside of the box. Sometimes things just happen, like, you know, I happen to browse through the internet on Amazon one day and happened to come across that book from Japan. There's nothing wrong with doing something because you have momentum in that thing. Hello and welcome to another episode of Teaside Thursday with your artist friend Win. And I want to welcome anyone who is new to these Teaside Thursday podcast episodes. So if you're new here, I would like to tell you that this space is slightly different to the art vlogs, the more sort of storytelling vlogs that I do here on YouTube. And I just really wanted a space, especially as a creator, to have this space to kind of be a little bit more informal and unfiltered. I want to have more of these sort of spontaneous conversations, especially over a hot drink, like I would do personally with my close friends. So whenever my close friends and I catch up, it's really almost like a little tradition. And I'm sure that I'm also not the only one who does this with their own friends. Whenever I get together with them, the host, whoever is the host, offers tea and we just sit down on the couch. And normally with my close friends, because they live in different cities to me and sometimes in different countries, so what ends up happening is either over a video call or face to face, but we don't end up meeting physically that often. And that also means, you know, we have so much to catch up on. And what normally makes it cozy and inviting and just sort of opens up this conversation, I find, is just a nice cup of hot drink. There's nothing sort of soul fulfilling and so warm and, you know, so nurturing as just having like a drink in your hand and talking to a good friend about your challenges, your wins, you know, the things that you're going through, the questions that you have. And these moments of having, you know, these deep quality time with my friends, I found, especially in my adult life, has given me back so much. And I'm really grateful for those friendships. So I thought that, you know, these Teaside Thursday podcasts could be an opportunity to create something similar, where I might be talking about a particular topic that I wanted to share, whether it's my own method or process. Because what happens even if I share, I guess, like what I've learned and sort of imparting, you know, the things that I've learned throughout these years, like even if I sort of do those sorts of conversations with you, I find that it reinforces my learning and hopefully it gives you something back. Or an example of this Teaside Thursday episode, sometimes it's a little bit more informal, meaning I don't really have like a particular specific topic that I want to share, but I trust in the conversation, because I think that conversation, especially when it's a two-way conversation, meaning not only are you talking, but also you're listening deeply. Like, I think both communicating honestly and clearly plus the deep listening part is what makes a conversation. So especially if a conversation involves these two aspects, then I believe that the sort of twists and turns that a conversation takes is just like making art. we don't exactly know where we're going to get to, but we know that there's something really good in it. So I have a feeling that this is going to be a really, really good one. So welcome and let's dive in. Before we get started, let me share with you what I'm drinking this week. What I'm drinking is very simple, very, I would say, just straight up hot water. I didn't even go into it with a suspense. I just went into it there. Maybe it would have been better if I had a bit of a drum roll or something. But yeah, you see my trusty big jug, which I shared with you on a different Teesside Thursday podcast episode. And in there is just hot water that is insulating to keep it warm for throughout our conversation. And the reason I'm drinking it today is because it's a reminder for me to drink a lot of water today because I want to hydrate myself a lot today. That's the sort of aim of my day in terms of looking after my health. And sometimes it's just nice to keep it simple, like nothing fancy, nothing pretentious, just a cup of warm water just to help with digestion, just to warm us up in winter, just to help with any sort of inflammation and water retention that we might have is a really good thing. So let this be a reminder that if you are not drinking hot water or enough water, to drink a lot of it, because lately, especially because it's been quite cold in England throughout this winter, and I've been ill quite a lot this winter. Because of that, I found myself just drinking a lot of water just to flush out those toxins. And as a process, I've actually realized that my body has responded really well to drinking quite a lot of water. So this jug that you see next to me, I drink at least 2 jugs of this. And when I'm ill, I drink even like 3 jugs of this plus some more water. That's just normal temperature. And I found that it also helps me with water retention. So my body holds on to quite a lot of water. So that means that throughout the day, if I've eaten something, even if it's super whole foods and healthy, it retains the food and it retains the water even from the food. Ironically, you wouldn't think that if you're retaining water in your body, that drinking more water is going to help with that, but guess what? I found that it does, and there's research and science to back this up. And I found that, my body has just retained less water, so that means I'm less bloated, and I can see a difference in the way I feel in my body. Even in my face, I feel less puffy. And yeah, so I hope that this inspires you to just go basic, maybe for some of our Teesside Thursday episodes. And yeah, join me with a hot, warm cup of water if you'd like for this episode. When I tell you that I'm so excited for this week's episode today, I really mean it. I used to watch, and I still do watch, a lot of vlogs. It's not art vlogs necessarily, but I watch a lot of vlogs. And whenever, these vloggers say, oh, I can't wait to like catch you guys up on like what I've been up to and stuff like that, I always think, do they actually mean it? But now sitting on the other side of the camera and actually, developing this channel and cultivating a relationship with you, I actually feel this genuine excitement to just like share with you, like, you are my friend, and I guess you are my friend in a way. I count you as my friend anyway. And I know that I have a regular audience, no matter if it's like 10 people watching, 30 people watching, 1 person watching, that to me is a community. And I know that I myself am a silent watcher. So I don't normally like comment on lots of people's posts and videos and stuff like that, even though I really like it. So maybe I should do that more actually, to show my appreciation. But I know that I don't do it. So if I don't do it and I still appreciate, the videos that I watch, the posts that I see, then it must mean that there are a lot more people like me. So I know that you're watching, and thank you for joining me in this episode. This episode to me is basically like a huge download of my mind. And I want to share with you also, first of all, what's been really inspiring me at the moment. And I want to share this latest discovery that my partner and I found recently. And it also relates to the art vlog that would have been out this past week. So it's an art vlog that is making this sketch. I have been having, such a crazy start to the year. I don't know about you, but since 2026 has started, since January 1st rolled around, things has just been a bit mad. And they're all good stuff. I've got a few personal things happening. I've got a few travel plans. Also, it's just normal day-to-day life and commitments and promises that I've made to myself, whether it's storytelling through these art vlogs and Teesside Thursday episodes, or continuing with my art program and developing my artistic skills, or continuing with my strength training in the gym and making sure that I'm getting stronger and learning the techniques of moving my body well. All of these things matter so much to me. I told myself this year that no matter what is happening outside of, the artistic work that I do, I don't want my artistic work to fall behind. I want to take the little steps, even if it does mean little steps, to keep and fulfill the promises that I set to myself. And so far, I think I've been doing well, and I'm proud of myself, particularly in this latest art vlog, for adapting. Because there's been so much happening, my brain, my nervous system, for the last couple of weeks has just been on an overdrive. And I found myself at one or two times feeling so overwhelmed and so stressed that I've had to just sort of slow down and do tasks one by one instead of trying to think about everything at once. This art vlog was inspired actually by two things. Number one, I physically don't really have the energy currently to write something and use my voice to narrate, to storytell like I usually do, because I just feel like my body is exhausted. So because of that, I allowed myself to think creatively outside of the box a little bit. And I thought well, what kind of video could I make to help myself, but also help other people? And I realized that if I'm feeling overwhelmed and a little bit stressed, if my nervous system feels a little bit overworked, then I must not be the only one going through this. So I wanted the editing experience of this latest art vlog to feel like a relaxation for my nervous system, where I wanted to incorporate very relaxing music that I normally listen to as well on a day-to-day basis, to help infuse actually, the energies of calmness and goodness and relaxation, because that's what I need right now. So if you haven't watched the art vlog, I highly recommend it. And also, this art vlog was inspired, and that's why I'm so excited to share this with you right now. This art vlog was inspired by these documentary series that my partner and I found on YouTube. So recently, we have been watching a series of documentary episodes by a blind and partially deaf DJ and producer. Let me get my phone so that I can actually tell you his name. Right, okay. So he is a part of this duo DJ group called Xijaro and Pitch. So Xijaro is spelled Xijaro, and then just an and symbol, and PITCH, pitch. So Cigaro and Pitch. And it's made out of these two DJs. So one of them is called Xander van Dommelen. So I'm pretty sure I've not pronounced that correctly, but I believe that he is Dutch. And the other one, whose documentary that we've been watching, is called Anthony Reyers. So Anthony, Anthony, and then his last name is Reyes, Reyers. And you've got to check this guy out, honestly. He won a grant a few years ago, I believe, to do this documentary. And it's a documentary that is basically targeted towards also blind and partially deaf people, or he wanted to educate all of us and give us an insight into his life as a blind person who is also partially deaf, and how he goes about making these amazing tracks and music. Like, I wasn't aware of it. I'm only aware of him and also electronic dance music through my partner, because he loves electronic dance music. So for the past couple of years, like, I've been watching Tomorrowland with him, and I've grown to love the music, and I've grown to also love the what seems to be the really united community, who seems very open and diverse and very loving group of people. Actually, this documentary is so inspiring, because what you see is a blind DJ, like completely blind. He cannot see, but he travels all around the world in these what could be risky DJ sets, and performs for thousands and thousands of people, and makes tracks with his partner, and collaborates with other DJs, and goes about in his day-to-day life using technology. So in the documentary, you actually get to see how he uses technology to help him in his day-to-day life, but also to make music. And he also introduces us to many other blind DJs. If this doesn't give all of us a kick in the ass to, create and never stop creating, like, I don't know what will, because I just find him, Anthony Reyes, so incredibly inspiring. And he seems like such a lovable person. So I've been in his world of listening to him, like, explain about making tracks and mixing music and whatnot. And I thought, you know what, like, if I'm not gonna do like a voiceover video this week, then what if I become a little bit of a mini DJ myself? And like, actually, instead of obviously not electronic dance music, but using these very calm and ambient music that I use, also, try to sort of like mix it myself, meaning when I'm editing, how about I try to have like a flow that's going in each of these tracks. And to be honest with you, like, as of now, I haven't edited yet. I'm actually going to start editing the video today, but you would have seen it come out already, because this T-side episode is going to be a week after when the vlog comes out. I'm super excited to edit this video, but you would have seen it already if you're watching this video now. It's just little things like that, right? This is what I'm finding. Like, whatever I've planned, sometimes it works out like to the T. Like, I'm a planner. Like, I plan out what I want to do for my personal life, but also for my work, like every single week. And it's a habit and it's a skill that I've developed over the recent years. But I'm also realizing that sometimes things can either go 100% to this plan and I can feel really good about myself, but sometimes things can just sort of flip just like that, like literally just like that, because what happens is there are things that come up that are outside of our control. Sometimes, like, we need to sort of adapt to the people around us, the situations that are happening, and, all that sort of stuff. Like, because we're both humans here. And I know that if I am adapting to, personal life situations, I know that you have your own personal life situations that you're probably also adapting to. And I think these sorts of moments, when sometimes things don't go according to plan, I realized that it does give an opportunity to just adapt and also maybe think creatively, think a little bit outside of the box, and also give us an opportunity to try something new. So this sketch vlog where I'm not talking, but there's this, ambient music. So that's this vision I have in my head right now. But this vlog is an example of a creative project that was born out of trying to think out a little bit outside of the box and adapting to life and adapting to also what my body is telling me at the moment. I hope that you can also find ways to do the same thing, because my experience so far has been that I'm learning that even if I think I'm not resilient, I find out from doing even little adaptations and actions like this helps me to realize that no, like I am resilient. And even if I think that I'm not strong enough to fulfill the promises that I've kept for myself, I've realized that I am strong enough to fulfill those promises. When challenges happen, you might actually surprise yourself and realize that you are stronger and more resilient than you think. Like, I really truly mean it. This is like a big catch up, honestly. That was what I wanted to share with you for the first part of this Teesside Thursday episode, this Sejaro and Pitch, Anthony Reyers discovery, and just a little bit of a background on the art vlog. But I also want to have like this, a little bit of a download, because it's been brewing in my head so much that I want to talk it out loud. And I think what better way to talk it out loud than on a Teesside Thursday episode, because I think my partner is probably sick of me hearing a lot about art and making art. But you are here because you're either interested in what I'm doing, you are a creative and an artist yourself. So I hope by sharing this, it will also give you some insight and inspiration. I tried a new subject actually by painting birds. For the longest time, what has been going through in my mind has been that I really, really want to nail the technique of having like a good contrast in my paintings between light and dark. So I think I've mentioned it before in my 2026 goals. But one of the things that I really want to achieve this year in terms of painting technique is, having like a good painting reference source where I see either like the light or the sun like hitting the subject, and I just captured that sunlight really well. Whenever obviously there's sunlight, there's like a shadow that's casted on an image, to actually paint that really well. And in painting, what normally happens is you don't just use like black for dark and white for light. Like, you actually try to mix different colors of white and different colors of black. And it's the same for every color. So if you have like, say, a blue, you can have a different shades of dark blue and different shades of light blue. And depending on what colors you use is going to also, depict that image of where the light is hitting and where the shadow is casted. And I've never truly been able to 100% like get it even like remotely close to the way I want to. And I'm really inspired by this artist called Andrea Jacobson. So she does these very like feminine paintings with women with flowers and in dresses, and it's very beautiful. I'm very much inspired by her, but I feel like our techniques are also very different, because hers is so simplistic, like, and I mean that in a really good way. Like, it's so elegant in a very minimalistic way, whereas I know that my paintings, I love having texture and movement and energy to it. But hers is so ethereal. And what she does really well is have this like amazing contrast shown in her portraits of where the light is casting the sort of brightness on the face and the body and the dress, and where the shadow is casted, and the way she uses her colors to depict that is incredible. Until recently, I haven't really found a way to create a similar effect because I wasn't really sure what technique I should use to do it until I reviewed my art program again, and I realized there is this method called a subtraction method. So it's similar to what I did for this charcoal sketch for the birds. So what you normally do is on like a blank sheet of paper or canvas, you put a ground, meaning you either put like one or two colors of washes, or you put, the charcoal, and then you rub out the lightest parts. So where the light is actually hitting and it's forming like this like bright highlight, on the figure, on the image. So you rub it out, and then you add the darkest darks. So then you add the really the areas where it's casting the shadow, and then you refine it thereafter. I think you're going to see me in the next upcoming art vlogs in trying these techniques out. And charcoal sketching is a great way to help break down what I might be doing in the painting, because in the charcoal drawing, you don't have to think about color. You just think about where is it really dark, where is it really light, where are the sort of variations of tones in the middle. And that's what you're trying to depict, and it kind of helps to break it down into the bare bones, the bare basics. And then you add color to it, so that's another layer, right? So I told myself that in the next couple of months at least, I'm going to try to focus on that. I'm going to try to practice this technique and see where I get to with it. And God forbid, if I actually finish 2026 by even touching on this technique and feeling like I've managed to capture light and shadows really well, for me, it would have been a really successful 2026, because that's what I really, really want to achieve in my technique currently. And there are other things that I also would like to do with art, particularly. One other thing is I've been having in my mind, constantly, I don't know why, I don't know where it came from. It's been like a touch and go kind of drive. I don't know how to describe this feeling. The sort of closest that I can describe it to is it's very impulsive. When you get inspired by something and you just get this huge sense of inspiration, impulsiveness, this energy in your body. The first couple of times I've had this idea, I've had this feeling. Lately I haven't, but I don't think that necessarily means that the idea went away or that it wasn't a good idea. I think basically it's just that I've had other things on my mind. That is the experience that I've been having. I really want to paint and sketch mythical creatures like dragons, tigers with wings. In our Burmese culture, in Burmese mythology, and I think they have it in Thai mythology as well. I think it's part of the Southeast Asian culture that some countries do believe it. So there is this mythical creature that we have in Burma called Naga. So it's spelled Nagar. And I guess if you Google something like a water dragon, you might find this image. But basically what it is it's this mythological creature that we believe actually lives underwater. So we believe that there are some that live predominantly underwater, and there are some that live on ground, and I think there are some that live in what we believe is heaven, in the sky too. We can't see it with our human eyes, but although there have been stories and accounts of people who have, been flying on the plane and have almost seen this underwater world. I don't know if you believe in this sort of stuff, but I do. I'm a big believer in anything unseen. I believe that anything and everything can exist in this world, and just because we can't see it with our eyes, just because we can't hear it with our own ears, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. So I 100% believe in this mythical creature, Naga. But it's such a like a very, grotesque. I'm sorry to say, but it's a very sometimes frightening figure to draw, because it's just so out of this world. It doesn't exist in our human world. But I've been having these huge urges to draw things like that. And I don't know where it comes from, but I really think that at some point I should put my head down and listen to it, because I think, I don't know why, but I think I should and I should try it out. Another thing that I really, really want to improve on and develop is my color choices. I want to show you something that I've bought recently. So these cute little books are Japanese, and it's called A Dictionary of Color Combinations. And check this out. Like, how beautiful is that? It's so minimal. This is, I think, volume 1. And it's basically done by this, I believe, like a designer, a Japanese designer. Let me see. Oh yeah, there we go. It says a little bit about it. So the original 6-volume work by, I'll attempt to say the name, Haishuku Sukan, from which this book is derived, was published from 1933 to 1934. The work was compiled in the early Showa, which was a turbulent pre-war and post-war period. But it was also a period permeated with a new atmosphere brought on by the influence of Western culture. This book is a collection of 348 color combinations originated by Sanzo Wada, who, in that time of increasingly avant-garde and diversified use of color, was quick to focus on the importance of color and laid the foundation for contemporary color research. So this guy that they're talking about created these color combinations from his own observations of what was happening and at that time. And I'll just put the microphone down and show you a few pages. How cool is that, right? So this second volume actually touches on even like the artistic objects, whether it's pottery or furniture, interior design, and breaks down the colors that's been used in these, artistic pieces into color combinations. And I got this as inspiration because I think it's always good, especially as someone who really likes color, like I love color. I thought that they would serve me as a reference point to get started with experimenting with color choices. So that's like 3 things already, right? That I really want to improve and develop in 2026. I've pretty much given the whole of this year for the development of my artistic practice. At first, I was going to do another course that was about branding and e-commerce and marketing ourselves and developing a website and things like that. But I realized that the work comes first, because if there is no work, then there is nothing to either exhibit or share or sell. I realized that was basically the foundation of everything. I'm normally the type of person, or at least I used to be the type of person who tried to do like everything at once, because I think that my nervous system can handle it, my body can handle it. And it's true, like if we push ourselves, like we can do it, it's possible. But I think there are some things that does need time to develop. How we judge it, I think is completely up to us as well. So for example, because I have the opportunity and I'm really thankful and I'm really grateful for the fact that I have this time and opportunity, I wanted to use that time to developing these painting skills and techniques. I wouldn't say that I found what my style is, but the more I paint and the more I sketch, I definitely know the kind of subjects that I like to paint and I'm interested in telling stories around. And I definitely know the sort of techniques that I'm leaning more towards that are in alignment with the more sort of impulsive temperament that I have when I paint. I think sometimes things reveal itself step by step. So for example, out of those three things, besides creating paintings to continue practicing my artistic skills, like I really wasn't 100% sure of how to even start to depict light and shadow, for example. Sometimes things just happen, like, I happen to browse through the internet on Amazon one day and happened to come across that book from Japan that has different color combinations. So that for me is a starting point to studying color and developing my color palette. And I just happened to watch a video about a particular technique on my art program. And I realized then that that is actually the technique that I need to practice to depict light and shadow really well. I think we should trust in life a little bit more, right? That sometimes things will fall into place. So I'm deciding that I will take it step by step. So I'm going to focus my sort of energy and mind, first of all, on depicting that light and dark, because now I've already started this sketch. And if you can see on this sketch, I've tried to make sure that this has a lot of the lighter values because it has a lot of light in it. And this has darker values, like the darker areas, because it has a lot of shadow on that bird. So I feel like I've gotten a little bit of a good start on this. So I now have like the energy and the momentum to continue to practice this technique. So I'm going to do that first. And then maybe it's going to be color. Maybe it's going to be mythical creatures. Because I've drawn birds in this way. Maybe I draw mythical creatures in this way. The possibilities are endless. Again, I guess coming back to the beginning of our conversation with the nervous system, I'm finding that if I try to do so many things at once, then I don't end up doing that thing properly. And also, I don't end up slowing down enough to actually learn the little nuances of the actions that I'm doing. So it's really important for me, especially this year, to take things step by step and bit by bit. If you have a project that you are working on and you're finding that it's really overwhelming, I also recommend you to try it. Like, just break it down into little tiny bits, like little tiny chunks that seem manageable, that seem like the next step that you are excited to do and that you have momentum in. And there's nothing wrong with doing something because you have momentum in that thing, because having momentum and having that energy means that you are likely to do the next thing because you've already established that momentum. That was really useful for me. So thank you for being a part of my art buddy and listening to me drone on about and geeking out about my artistic practice, because I'm finding that, the more I get into it, the more I love it. And the more I get really technical with it, even though I don't mean to, I end up getting more technical with it. And it was really interesting as well when I was watching the documentary by Anthony Reyes, the electronic dance DJ producer guy. There was a few episodes when he was just completely geeking out to his fellow DJs about these equipments and software that they use to create these tracks. And it just sort of like went over my head because I have no idea about these softwares. But I just loved watching them and listening to them because it just shows to me how passionate they are about their craft. And it inspires me to keep being passionate about my craft and keep going deeper and deeper into it. So if you've been following me for a while, thank you so much for being a part of this journey. And I just wanted to give you guys also a little bit of an update. At this moment, I'm just really enjoying developing my skills and developing my technique. And I think towards the end of 2026, I'm going to start to develop my portfolio pieces, meaning pieces that I think I'm actually going to put up on my website and photograph properly to have it up for sale. Right now, I haven't really updated my current website at all, even though if you want to buy any of my paintings, or if you know someone who wants to buy any of my paintings or sketches, you can reach out to me directly via my email, and I include that contact in the description of my art vlogs. But otherwise, I haven't actively promoted my website, or I haven't actively updated my website because I'm just really focusing on and enjoying being on YouTube here with you all and creating art vlogs and storytelling. And I'm just really enjoying going deeper into my artistic development. I know that, for example, if someone wanted to buy this sketch, like it's ready, same with my other paintings, is ready to sell, I think it does look professional enough and it would go well in someone's home if they resonated with it and if they wanted to buy it. I think I'm just choosing to take it step by step. So if you've been following me, since the first day that I announced that I quit my job to pursue my dream to become a professional artist, that what now seems like a very long time ago video, I hope you are also enjoying following me and following the development of my journey. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. I have really enjoyed having this little catch up and this conversation with you. And I hope that you've also gained some form of value from it, even if it's just to spend a cozy time with your artist friend. I'm gonna love you and leave you so that I can start editing my art vlog for this sketch and get my own DJ vibes on. I will see you in the future Teesside Thursday episode. Thank you for watching. Bye.